crisis. We have a crisis of thumb twiddlers running our governments and in our legislative halls. We have our leaders debating their climate change plans and insulting each other's plans like children. This should be an issue that unites us, no matter political stripe or party. And yet what we're seeing now are playground insults and witty one-liners to score cheap political points instead of actual, real problem solving. So that brings us to the common lie that is spouted by these thumb twiddlers that poisons this debate over and over and over again. We can't. We don't have the money. We don't have the resources. We don't have the votes, whether in Queen's Park, in City Hall, on Parliament Hill, or among the general population. These common lies are peddled again and again and again by these thumb twiddlers to hide from their responsibilities. And yet the most infuriating of those lies is that we don't have the solutions. We know what we can do as people, as individuals. We know that driving around less, using public transit more, decreases the amount of smog that we're putting up into the atmosphere. We know that eating even a little less red meat, I know it's hard, it can decrease the amount of methane that's going out into the atmosphere as well. We know even simple things, buying locally, decreasing our single-use plastic usage, and decreasing the amount that we are using, that we are wasting our food, can all go a long way in our decisions that we can make in dollars that we can spend. And yet we also know what we can do as individuals, as a community, and as a country. Ambitious climate plans to put us back on track with the rest of the world and not behind us. Did you know that we are the second highest carbon emitting country in the G7? Among the developed world, we are looking like a joke. We know that what we can do is cutting the amount that we are giving subsidies and handouts to the fossil fuel industries. We gave $18 billion last year. $18 billion. We know investing in the technologies of our future, like carbon capture and storage and increasing our solar battery capacity, can all go a long way to getting us to the next step in the 21st century. Now, and we also know things like investing in the affordability and availability of electric cars, things like increasing the access and quality of our public transportation are all things that we can do. Now, most of you here now are older than me. I am only 16 years old. You're business leaders. You are public figures, community organizers, or workers. Stand up. Do something. Don't just bring youth to the table, but be a leader. Be a leader and use the solutions that we know work. Do what you can as a people and as a community. So we know we have the money. We are a multi-trillion-dollar economy, after all. We know that we have the resources. We are one of the most developed nations in the history of the world. And we know that we have the solutions, as laid out earlier. But we also have something that's even more important than that. When I listen to these thumb twiddlers debating and insulting each other to score these political points, when I listen to the deeply concerned tone of voice that our climate scientists are telling us that we are not doing enough, I feel something that I'm sure many of you have felt throughout this entire crisis. Fear. Fear that we won't do enough. Fear that we won't be able to look our children and grandchildren in the eyes and tell them that we did everything that we could to save our broken planet. And then I see my generation. I see the ambition, the passion, the engagement, the readiness to act. I see the pressure that we're putting on public figures and politicians, and I feel something that is 10 times more important and potent than fear. I feel hope. Because even though we know the stakes, even though we know what a worst case scenario would look like, we also know the solutions to get us out of it. You know, these thumb twiddlers, they think that we know this problem, but they don't think we know the solutions. And they use that to hide from their responsibilities to solve that problem. They think that we don't know how this is going to go. They think that we don't know how we're going to step forward. And they're dead wrong.